Hi friends, hi Global Peace Tribe. Happy Friday, and what an amazing topic, relationships. And I'm also looking forward to supporting and promoting Paul's new app. Woo, congratulations. So Scott asked me to share some of my tips about relationships. And I thought long and hard. I thought for 2 days about what I wanted to share and what my favorite tool is. And y'all know that I'm deeply, maybe obsessed, slightly, with the self-empathy tool. And the reason why I am obsessed with that is that I was taught to be codependent in a codependent society, and from being a woman, being socialized to contort and serve men, and to all that love was sacrifice, that love was surrendering to my partner's needs, that was what it looked like. So I'm not going to teach you the self-empathy tool because you've heard it a zillion times before. And if you do want that, reach out to me. I have a video for you, and I'll give you Scott's documents so that you can follow along. It's a really great tool to help you self-source. But what I wanted to talk about today is something that I've been practicing a lot lately in my life, and that's nervous system regulation. That as a person who has had a crazy dangerous life and some pretty dangerous childhood stuff, and has developed a bunch of skills and tools and odd, weird things, strategies to get my needs met, what I've been practicing is how to regulate my nervous system inside of a relationship or just with myself. And what I'm noticing is that as I align myself towards nervous system regulation, I'm starting to be able to choose from choose healthier decisions for me. And I'm even more considerate of other people and their nervous systems too. Like it's making me just a better person and a better lover to be around. And one of the tools that I want to bring in today is a really simple practice that is a foundational practice in my Gestalt work. So I've trained with Christine Price, as well as my current mentor and teachers, Zuza Engler, and to really bring back the embodiment practices of co-regulation, to be just with another person without them needing to meet some of your needs, or you wanting something from them or them wanting something from you, but to actually just be in the present moment with their experience and to be in the present moment with your experience. So what I want to bring in is a practice called, some people call basic practice, some people call it Gestalt awareness practice, but it's a really simple tool where you're just noticing. It's an inner outer loop. So the practice looks a little like you're sitting in front of your partner. Like if Scott and I were doing it together, he would be sitting right in front of me, and we would take 2 minutes each to notice. So I would drop into my body and I would start noticing the things that are going outward, my outward noticing, and then to bring it inward. What am I noticing in my body? I'm noticing the heat. I'm noticing that I'm a little bit hungry. I'm noticing some tightness in my shoulder. I'm noticing a feeling of excitement and gratitude in my chest. And when we spend time a lot outward, to remember to bring it on the inside. What is the sensation or the emotion that's happening inward? And to loop this practice, I call it the loop of awareness. That's what I learned in massage school, is to, if I'm always outward focusing, to come back in. And it's been a really helpful practice. And then the other person, does their turn. So you don't get to share about what, oh, I noticed the bird too, or it's just about being with that person in their experience of the world, so that you both are just experiencing the world together. And what happens with this practice is that there's no judgment, there's no hidden agendas, there's no wants and needs. There's just being in and with the present moment. And there's something special about presence. There's something special about witnessing and being witnessed. There's something truly profound about just being with the other person in the moment without having an idea of what that, what it could mean, or, And what I'm finding is that as I practice this with my partners or with my lovers or with my friends or my family, is that we're expanding into just being able to be with each other as your experience is your experience and my experience is my experience. We're able to be without judgment, significantly greater. And it's a deeply intimate practice. It's a deeply present practice. It's for me, it's quality time, because I'm with that. There's no better way to be present than to be like granularly present with that person. And the reason why I bring this particular tool in is we spend a lot of time rushing around and doing all these things, and this person has to do this and I have to do this, and there's a lot of brainy stuff. And to just come back in to just be in the moment. So some of us, I'm talking about myself, is that some of us have a hard time being, I have a lot of thoughts, like a lot, all the time. They're just like squirrely all over the place. And to just step into this practice with someone helps me feel closer to their body. It helps my body literally regulate to their reality. So it's a co-regulation technique. It's a listening without having to say anything. It's my body is rhythming with their body. When whatever they're noticing, I'm noticing what they're noticing. So it's a shared reality in the moment. And there's just a level of vulnerability and intimacy that I really love about this practice. And it also gives you an opportunity to get into your body. So embodiment practices are a great way to be present and a great way to share, to get into the juiciness of the moment as well, into your body, because embodiment practices are really where it's at. Being embodied in the moment is the most present place you can be. So this is my favorite meditation for myself. This is my favorite practice to do with another person. And I invite you to just try it on. So tell me what you think. Tell me how that lands for you. And again, if you want any of the, if you want the self-empathy tool, and the video for that, just reach out to me and I'll let you know. I'll send it to you via email, and then you can practice it and learn how to get some of your needs met before you ask for another person to meet your needs. There's something coming up that I want to share a little bit about attunement. And that practice that I just shared is for attunement. And attunement to self, but attunement to others. And when we find ourselves in a more embodied or a more present, and I'm going to say listening, but I don't exactly mean the listening with your ears or the listening from vocal tone or the English or whatever language, human language. It's listening with the body. It's listening to the energetic experience. It's listening for the nervous system of the other person, right? And attunement is a huge piece of relationship. It's like body language. It's what is unsaid in relationship. And I don't think we talk about attunement enough in the way we interact in our collaborative realities, because when we find ourselves attuned, and what I mean by attunement is to be in connection in the present moment with another person, fully in our own truth, in our own center, with them being in their own center, able to, with a regulated nervous system, able to share what's alive and real for them without the trigger, and what's alive for me without the trigger, is that when you find attunement, then the world, you can start to dance together. Like you can start finding the lead and finding the follow, and it becomes a fluid creationship instead of something that's like I'm leading and you're following, or you're following and I'm leading, but a more balanced structure of attuning to the other person. And what I don't mean about attunement is self-abandonment or a lean over my boundaries to appease or please another person. Attunement is coming from a centered place. And I know that sometimes it can be hard to find attunement. It can be hard to, or challenging. It can feel hard. That sometimes it takes a level of noticing that your nervous system needs to calm down before you can lean into another person, or maybe the other person needs to calm down. And it's in that place, this attunement place, where we can see each other's needs through the listening, right? And come from that place of love. So as I shared before, that this practice that I've been playing with is this practice of nervous system regulation. So I'm literally aligning my nervous system to a regulated state at all times. And that means like any places that I get really, really excited, I'm like, oh, I'm gonna take a step back and reconsider maybe that, because with every high has a tendency to come a low. So if I'm really excited about another person who I'm potentially going on a date with, or then I often take a step back and look at if my nervous system is regulated enough to show up in my full capacity. Because I'm often finding that if I'm overly excited, then I might have a projection, or I might have an expectation, or I might not be living in curiosity about the other person, but there's some subconscious attachment stuff running in the background. Sneaky. So when I'm aligning to my nervous system at all times to these moments is like, okay, how can I love another person in this place as well? How can I find balance with another person? Like if I know that I dysregulate another person's nervous system, am I going to just throw myself into an event that's at their house and because that's our community? Probably not. I'm going to be kind to their nervous system and mine. You know, I'm going to consider that. I'm going to consider mine and their nervous system and how we both react and how we both interact and how we both respond, so that, you know, a little bit of consideration without self-abandonment goes a long way. So I love you all. I hope that you're having a wonderful conversation and that you are just freaking delighted right now. And I love you, and I'll see you soon.